So you need to understand tech in some certain way to even win those kind of cases. Okay, so we also saw the likes of the P2P and everything that happened and all that.
Career Buzz.
Okay, welcome back to Career Buzz podcast, where we talk about everything and anything that has to do with your career, technology, business, anything, sports. We will talk sports. So basically today we'll be talking about top 10 careers you can actually go into, or courses you can do to be out there. Basically, it doesn't have to be in Nigeria, as it can be in any other country. So I'm not alone to talk about something like this. I have KC, Kelechi, wear glass like person where they sell land. Then I have Regina. I told them I'm wearing almost the same kind of shade. Okay. So we will be talking about it, and from what we know, there are countries that have peculiar kind of courses that you have to do to be able to survive. It doesn't have to be tech, but basically now in the whole world, if you want to go ahead in life, top 10 courses, you have to find tech in like 7. You have to name like 7, 8, and it has to be tech. So it's all back in the days where we used to have, if you are not a banker, if you are not a lawyer, if you are not an accountant. But right now, all these things fall into tech has actually infused in every facet of our lives and every career choice or course that we have decided to go into, from law to accounting to banking to commerce, you name it, to medicine. Basically, that's what it is. So you have AI taking over, artificial intelligence taking over the world now. You have them going into cybersecurity, going into stores and now having robots attend to you, even in restaurants. So basically, it is still tech. So I'll leave it to the guys in the house talking about Kelechi, but I'll start with the woman first. Kelechi, hang in there. Regina, let's go there. So 10 top courses that you have on your list.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here once again. And I think that when we talk about top 10 courses, I like that we are talking about this globally, from a global scale. Basically, what are the courses that are trending for you to basically look at? And there are quite a number of research, but everything is still going into the same thing. I think one of the first courses I would talk about is data science. Basically, data science is one of the 10 courses that is trending at the moment, and they said basically you can either pursue data science as a master's course, or you can learn data science as a certificate course in different platforms. So for instance, you could find data science on our platform DataNet Track-on. You could make an inquiry from there. You could also find data science on online platform as well. But it's always good, like we discussed in our formal video, to make inquiry from DataNet Track-on if that's something that you would like to do. So what does it require to learn data science, right? I think there are a few things, and this is basically working on data to be able to grow your business. So if you are somebody that has done something with business before and you're looking for an area of tech to go into, and you've worked with some, what do they call this thing, bookkeeping and all of these data and all of those things, accounting tools, I think that you would find data science a bit more interesting. So it's basically using data to grow your business, or basically any product you're selling. So data science can be studied as a fresher, or if you're a graduate, or just somebody that wants to merge between one course to another, you can actually go into data science. Okay,
so apart from data science, you have others on your list. So can we just hear them?
Yeah, the other ones are we have business analytics, which is very close to data science as well, because they are both, they have some level of analytics. We have AI, like you discussed, AI, artificial intelligence. There's cloud computing, you've already mentioned, cybersecurity. And there is digital marketing, which is basically around social media marketing and, basically knowing how to do market stuffs online. There is project management, there is web development, and all in all, there is also big data. And it's quite surprising that there are other courses that is also trending, like people that wants to learn language studies, which is basically at the tail end of the list. So like if you want to learn French, or you want to, that's international relations, basically things like that, is also a training course. And medicine as well is on the list.
Hi, Uche. Hi, Regina. So basically, why we are looking at this top 10 courses in 2024? Of course, you guys have mentioned quite a lot of it, but basically, what we're also trying to do is also shouting out to the guys in the legal system, in accounting, and the rest of them. But then, having been in this business of digitalization and IT computing, I've seen where most of these organizations have moved their business from the paper side of things to the tech side of things. Okay, so for instance, you're even looking at a regular lawyer right now. Gone were the days where people look for legal cases of Okonkwo versus Okoro dragging one piece of land. So those legal cases are actually obsolete. So right now you see that most of the legal cases in the market are actually high digital legal cases where you need to understand data, you need to understand, so you need to understand tech in some certain way to even win those kind of cases. Okay, so we also saw the likes of the P2P and everything that happened and all that. So all these things are data going into play. So you see the INEC, everybody is just trying. You need to bring in digitalization, and of course, if it's well implemented, it makes everybody's work easy. All right. So you're also looking at the accounting guys. Paper accounting for some reason, it's a bit obsolete. People still do paper accounting, but right now accounting has moved now to ERP solutions and what it is right now. The Sage, the SAPs, and the rest of them. So when you're hearing cyber fraud, when you're hearing this blah blah blah, it's when you're doing accounting on paper, it's difficult to actually get where the fraud is coming from, because the perpetrator can choose to either document it or not document it. But when your whole accounting system is on an application, so for instance, it's difficult to see that #1 misses or $1 misses, and you can't see where the money went to, right? So if your account balance is, for instance, £50,000 for the company at the start of the calendar year, and for some reason, maybe at the end of the calendar year, the account balance is now maybe £5,000. So meaning £45,000 was expended. Now there's no way you can hide a debit. You need to account for where everything went to. So that's basically where you see most of this tech. So I would actually be coming in for more of the tech side of things. Even in the medical industry where we're working currently, you still see a lot of processes. Most of us are just right now setting up systems that are doing the real work, and we humans are just there to put in manual processes to ensure that everything works good. So for me, looking at the top 10 courses in 2024, I will be looking at first on that list is data analytics. So the reason why I'm looking at data analytics is the use right now. So we have other courses, other good trending courses that are selling, but data right now, why I chose data to be on top of that list is it's not industry specific, right?
Okay.
So you could also have artificial intelligence, but there are so many organizations that necessarily do not need to use AI to run their business, because of how you look at it, right? But everybody uses data.
Yeah.
So data analysis comes at the top of my list, and the reason And so people want to ask you, what's the data? Because a lot of people have also been inboxing me and okay, so what is the data analytics and the rest of them? So basically, data analytics is just increasing intelligence to data. All right. So what you're doing is you're creating dossiers, you're creating visualizations, you're creating intelligent reporting. So for instance, if somebody comes and says, okay, we're opening a bank in Manchester. If you're opening a new branch of a bank in Manchester, you don't wake up one morning and just go to Manchester and set up a new bank. All right.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes in the board meetings, there should have been some level of presentations using live data, using real data analysis to say that we actually need a branch in Manchester. So probably, so look at this scenario. So a bank could have their branch in Leicester. Leicester is just a bit close to Manchester, okay? So, but then they are looking at the customer record in the branch in Leicester. So let's use First Bank or GT Bank. Okay, so you're looking at GT Bank in Leicester, all right? And your GT Bank is telling you right now that their customer base in Leicester is 2,500 customers, all right? Now, you're not looking at the address of those 2,500 customers in Leicester. When you look at the address information, 2,000 of them have their addresses domiciled in Manchester, but they are banking in Leicester City.
Okay.
So what's the wise business decision? So you're having a branch with 2,005, meaning you are just maximizing or satisfying 500 people.
Yeah.
And the remaining 2,000 of them are suffering to come from Manchester or do transactions from Manchester. So
the best bet is to put the bank in Manchester.
Put the bank in Manchester. So you may not necessarily need to close the one in Leicester, but that's the business decision. You don't need to close that one, but if you must close, of course, you can close it because that's the wise business, because it means more of the market is in Manchester. So these are the kind of things they use data analytics to do. All right. So you also see people looking at the business analysis and the rest of it. It's the same. It's basically, so the business analysis is you're using the data analysis, the data analytics, the information from data. That's what you're using to defend your business analysis theories and whatever it is you're putting out for the organization to follow for that particular calendar year. So for me, it's at the top of things. Like I said, everybody uses data. So you can't make your business more intelligent without having some level of data records in it. So that's it. So that's at the top of my list. For some reason, I also have the database management. Okay, so if I would have second, I just want to do a little division. So second on that list will probably be database management. So while we are looking at the top 10 list, okay, so two things are coming into my head. One, the trend where IT is moving to. Two, the use. All right. So if you're looking at data analysis, you cannot look at data analysis without looking at the platform that's hosting the data. All right. So you go back to our bank branch analysis in the data analysis example we gave. The 2,500 records of customers, where are they sitting? They're sitting in the database. So you still need skill to manage the database. That's why you see a lot of banks. You can't even do internet transfer. You can't do anything if you don't have data record.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's why you see a lot of bank emphasis, more risk right now. Business risk right now is tied to data. Emphasis on how to make data highly available. So you are creating fraud tolerance scenarios or setups to ensure that you do not lose data. How will you feel if you're banking with GT Bank one morning, you wake up and GT Bank tell you that all their data have crashed and they have no information again and blah 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 blah. Even me, if I'm not a customer of GT Bank, I'll go and claim. I will sue for damages because you don't have any data anymore to back up the claim that I wasn't your customer before the crash or whatever. So you don't even want to think about it. So you see them, they invest so much money on that data protection. So you see them setting, like I said, they set up fault tolerance setups, to provide high availability services for customers and the rest of them. And they also try to do regular backups, to ensure that they don't want to lose that data. So there is so much importance in data.
Even during the cashless policy era, that was like last year, we woke up one morning and for some reason we found out that our accounts were wiped out. Some of us in Zenith Bank. Whoa. There was nothing in the account. Like they would tell you from the app that you don't exist to them. But when we got so you can imagine somebody waking up. I woke up, mine was wiped, my husband's own was wiped, and I think a friend of mine too was complaining like he does not exist to Zenith Bank. And at the end of the day, when he got to the bank, they said it was just a glitch, that his money is still there. His account is still there. It was just a glitch, as in like everyone needed money to, and
that's
it was so much. So you cannot imagine if they didn't have a backup. You cannot imagine if they didn't have a database. You cannot imagine if truly the thing had wiped and money had gone. Where would you start from? And there was no record of you having to do transactions in the bank for God knows how long you've banked with that particular kind of bank. So I think that database is the first thing you do before even getting into the analytics. I really agree with that, because if you lose data of people, then you'll not be able to account for them. That's why we keep clamoring in the country. That's Nigeria. Database. If you have the database of you have a database where everyone is in, that's why the NIN is good. But even at that, they still find a way. These criminals, they still find a way to manipulate it because it's not strong enough. It's still not. It's still something you can compromise. But with the NIN, it's helping to be able to track people, know where they are. It doesn't take too long now to catch some people, because back in the days they'll tell you to go and get a court affidavit. The likes of the telecom company will tell you get a court affidavit or get a court order for us to be able to release the location of a particular person. When they're telling you that they're kidnapping people left, right, and center, you still need court order to catch somebody.
Okay, so there are a couple of them with order of no preference. We have DevOps.
Yeah.
All right, we have DevOps. So basically, DevOps too is business supportive. So basically, what DevOps do is development and operations. Okay, so it's the synergy. So it's that set of skill, both management skill and technical skill, to create synergy between development and operations in an organization, in application framework and application use and all that. So it is a whole lot of skill, and it's an area that is blowing up, because most of the automation tools and the rest of them, they are actually right now in the DevOps. All right, so even if you're looking from the cloud side of things, you're looking from the containerization, the Kubernetes side of things and all that. So you also see a lot of people doing, so when they say DevOps, there's some level of programming too. All right, so depending on the role you have in the DevOps team, you can also be the programming side of things. You can be in the other side of things, the operation side of things, to ensure that the developers and the application, whatever it is the organization is putting out, is meeting the business need of the organization. Do you understand? So it's also a very critical skill to want to put in the bag for 2024. Next on that list, I could also put cloud computing. Okay. So like I said, the choice of why I am ordering these things is use based, right? And the trend where IT is moving to. So for now, most organizations, there's a call for cloud management or cloud computing of some sort. And on the top of that list, you have the AWS. All right, the Amazon cloud service. You also have the Microsoft Azure.
So also top on the list also is cybersecurity, a very important cause. Just as we're refreshing data, So we've talked about data analytics, we've talked about the database management because there's importance in data. Right now, you also need to secure that data. How do you secure the data? That is a cybersecurity course. It's very important. Like I said, if anybody tampers with your data, then of course it's almost like your organization is null and void. It's that simple actually. It's that simple. So basically, what is cybersecurity? Just a course that actually studies cyber fraud or cyber crime, which is obviously illegal intrusion, access into people's system, data, and of course network. So these are guys that probably create that security barrier. They always say, or I used to say, the thief on the inside is equal to a thief on the outside. Just as you have cyber attackers that are trying to go into the organization, you also need to have cyber security experts that will also prevent them from coming in. It's not ethical hacking and cybersecurity are actually not, they are not the same per se. Ethical hacking is a course, a sub course under cybersecurity. So, but if you're going into cybersecurity, basically what you're just going to be looking at, you're going to be looking at attacks. There are different types of attacks right now in the world of IT. We have the phishing attacks, we have the password attacks, we have the DDoS, we have the man in the middle. There are so many SQL injection and all that. So all these attacks, you need to study them. You need to understand how, as a cybersecurity expert, you need to understand how these things work, how people use these techniques to infiltrate networks and all that. So basically, if you're looking at cybersecurity, it's like it is a big industry. Cybersecurity is a big industry. Just as you have the cyber attacking industry is a big industry, the cybersecurity is a big industry. So it's like fish eat fish, dog eat dog. That's basically how the cyber. So like I said, as a cybersecurity expert, basically you're understanding types of attacks, different types of attacks. You're doing vulnerability scans. You're doing intrusion detection on your network. You need to also have your load, your segmentation, your load segmentation or network segmentation in your organization. You need to properly plan incident response plan and all those things. These are basically your tasks as a cybersecurity person, and of course more that probably I might have forgotten right now. But basically that's it. You are not doing ethical hacking. Back in the day, as security as experts, when we implement solution, it used to be, is it going to work? Is it going to work? Now it's not. We're not talking about if it's going to work or not. Right now, the problem is it safe to work? Is this solution safe to work? So right from the from the implementation, from the architecture, you're already planning in safety. That is how crazy the security world is right now. So cybersecurity definitely one of the top courses.
All right, you have the Microsoft Azure, you have the Google Cloud Platform, and the rest of them. So what most of these guys do, basically, they offer what we call infrastructure as a service, cloud computing. So they are saying you want to set up application, you want to set up databases, anything you want to do. Don't buy server again. Don't care about network, right? So your users in your organization will be connecting to their resources in the cloud using the internet. So the internet is the frame they will use, the pipe they will use to access their resources. So you are not doing they are saving you that whole bulk load of bringing in servers, every other thing in ICE. They are saying don't worry, just pay us the money.
They will do it.
Set everything for you. So most organizations are looking at it right now, not just because it's so in some way it could be cost effective depending on the kind of setup. So a lot of people they run their HQ, they run their DRO setup. It could be different depending on the kind of setup. It could be more cost effective, it could be more expensive either, but regardless of what it is, it's a way to go right now. Because I've been in infrastructure for a very long while, and I understand the whole house when it comes to networking, when it comes to server. Servers would always run out of So we call it it's going out of date. Or yes, it's not like it's expiring, but it's going out of support. So when the server goes out of support, you're no longer getting patches from the OEMs. You're no longer being able to update, to create, make it more secure right now for you to put your enterprise applications on it. So so it will now need you to now go and meet maybe HP, Dell, or IBM, or Huawei. You start ordering. So imagine replacing all your servers in the organization in maybe 3-4 years span. That's so much cost you do not want to. Bringing onto your organization. So you now use the cloud platform. So another thing that also it does, people feel more comfortable when you are hosting your services, in the cloud, because you feel like it's more safe.
Yeah.
You understand?
When you just switch your phone, the next thing is you put in your password, every information drops. You don't have to start too much. The only thing you have is backup, and that's it.
Good. I would rather have Microsoft back up my data than have Kelechi and Sons limited provide me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Backup services. So
and even to the point that they now sell it. They now sell the space for you to be able to back up.
Yes. So you're looking at it in a more business-minded approach. You're like, no, this way is way to go. But guess what, Uche? In Nigeria, things are always on the flip side.
Yeah.
So there are so many organizations. Before I left, when we were trying to sell this cloud, most of them don't want to move. And them not moving. It's not just because they don't even believe in the system. There are so many things we will not say in the media. But if for instance, if I have some shady dealings, I'd rather have a head of IT, Kelechi Ikpe, to mop it up for me, and it remains between me and him and all that.
If it's on the cloud, it's easier to get.
If it's on the cloud, then it means it's now publicly available, even if it's a private cloud. The host can actually, we're not saying
release it at any time.
You understand? They don't want that information to go out, so they would rather keep it, within their space. So that's one reason you see most Nigerian organizations did not move, or don't move, or don't want to move, or are hesitating to move to the cloud system. But it's a top skill.
Okay, now let me come back to Regina. Quick one. You have 10. You have listed out everything, like your top 10. Which is your favorite? Like, if you have to give someone any advice.
If I have to give someone any advice, I would say that it basically would depend on what the person can do. So what I would do is I would try to ask about your interests. That would help me to give you an advice. So for instance, if you don't have interest in designs, you are not good with proper designs. Normally, you can't draw, you can't spot out something that is good. I can't tell you to go and do web design. You understand me? I can't advise you to go and be a front-end developer, because you are going to do something that is very bad. But for instance, if you're somebody that you are good with designs, normally you like to draw, you're an artist, you like to see things organized, you are just good with your hands, that kind of a thing. I'll just tell you to try out web design, graphic design, around web development. This is mainly because you are likely to like what you see, because people that are good with designs, they like the output of what they have done. So if they draw, what gives them satisfaction is how it looks like. So they want to see the result of their work immediately. And that is what front-end development gives you. That is what web design gives you. That's what graphic design gives you. You would see your work, you get your work satisfaction almost immediately. But if you're not good with design, and you're not really, you're not really about how it looks like, how beautiful it looks like, I can begin to tell you things like go to maybe back-end development, software engineer, this kind of a course, because I know that it's just for me to do something to work. I don't want to know how it looks like in the front end.
So basically, it's about what the person has interest in before the advice can come, or
Yes.
where you should move.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
like if you're a mathematician, if you're somebody that you're very good with maths, you like data, you like numbers, you're very good with data. Things like data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence might be something that would interest you, because you have to deal with data, you have to deal with numbers. You understand? So I don't think it's a parallel decision. It basically has to do with what you have interest in. And I feel like these are areas where people don't consider when they rush into specialization in technology, and so they get frustrated because they don't know. And this is where it comes with where counseling is important before you pick a course, because that way you would go into something that aligns with your interests, in a very good way. So so that's what I can say about that.
So to add to what she said, so in terms of if you are doing personal counseling to individuals, so I've noticed over time a lot of people choose either where the money is. All right, so they want to choose where the money is. They want to say, I need to go into this place because I heard that these people make a lot of money. All right, or they could also say, I want to go into ethical hacking. So people either use the use name clause or the how nice the name of the course sounds to want to go into it, while others use they go after the money. But like you said, Regina, it's you're looking at the money, you're also looking at interest. Very important, because if you do not have interest in something, there's really no how you can't push yourself when things go too hard for you. All right, so sometimes I give them the instance of music. All right, so I use music because some of them, when you're trying to counsel people, you need to use interfaces or use scenarios that they can connect with. So I when I bring in the music side of things, I ask them, are you into music? If they say yes, okay, so what instrument do you like? So they could say, okay, they like hearing the keyboard. All right, and me, I love hearing the bass guitar. So while I feel like the keyboard is cool, if I go and do more of the keyboard, like that's the piano, I may not have that satisfaction. So I would rather want to play the bass guitar because that one gives me joy. Even if I'm playing ting ton 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 ton, I'm happy with it. So yes, in choosing courses to do and tech, you need to also consider your interest, because at the end of the day, when things get frustrating, when things don't go the way you probably plan it, when things don't give you the amount of money or exposure you're hoping to get, that interest still covers you, and you keep going till you hit the opportunity that will actually do you up. So
okay, in my own field, whether we like it or not, tech is what runs sports. So now you don't actually have there's a machine now that just pulls out the ball and the players kick it. You don't have to always set it like we have to set it and we must be this way, must be that way. Now you now see the VAR, it's technology. Tech runs the world, whether we like it or not. We have come to.
I'm curious to know, Uche, for somebody that is within sports, for instance, what are like the necessary skills that you think that the person has to learn now?
Well, you can do certification courses on football management. Football management, security. Security, because that's basically what they need. Then, as you said, tech, media. Now, tech, media infused in tech, the likes of TikTok, building applications for them, for whatever reason, for whatever things that they need for a particular competition, or even before a competition.
Yeah.
Nigeria hasn't gotten to that yet, but when you talk about the AFCON, the CONMEBOL, you talk about the FAs in CONMEBOL, you talk about the Copa America, the Euros. That is what it's technology. The drones they use today, nobody sits down and be carrying camera and be doing like this. You just a few people you see, maybe one or two, but basically what they use are drones. So that you can actually see what happens from the top and take a decision from what you're seeing. So you can do it is still tech. If you're with high-end tech, security, sports management, football management, if possible. There are so many courses under FIFA, CAF that can be done if you have interest, and it costs a whole lot of money. Like being an alumni of FIFA, doing a course under FIFA costs you like 20 million naira. Yeah, that's so it gets you up there, and it's not just most of these people you see as pundits. They have done their courses.
Yeah,
the coaching. Now
I'm always wondering, like, for someone like me, I'm always thinking, like, try to basically, if you try to look outside of what you do, you'll be surprised at areas where technology has been, used, and it's interesting to hear what is going on within the sports, within the sports careers as well.
Yeah. And they use automation a lot, where they have to scan the cards, your tickets and everything. They know the one that is fake, and they by looking at it, that they even know before they even start scanning. And if it doesn't scan, forget about it. You're not entering that stadium. It will just turn red if you're not entering there. So the same has to do with the media guys as well. At some point, they know where media guys are. Yeah. So because of the tags you're wearing, because it has their own special code, barcodes, and they are able to scan it and say, okay, this person is. So it's everywhere. Tech is everywhere. Football, basketball, volley. It's coming in, and it's coming in real good, like real good. But where they have really applied it a whole lot is in football.
So Regina, did you expand your top 10 list?
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah, she actually did talk about she actually did call them all out. So I just asked her to pick the one that is best suited for her. So Casey, your own, I know that it's still tech. If I tell you to pick one, it's still tech.
I would. So maybe I should just also call mine out and see if there's a difference in what. Yeah. So on the top of the list, like I said, I talked about data analytics, database management, programming, DevOps, software engineering, project management. Project management is the one that I probably maybe just want to touch a little. Then we have the cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, full stack development, and UX UI design. Very important, because like Regina has spoken something about the design. So that design is very good. So I'll probably just touch little the design, then maybe just talk about project management, and that ends my list. Of course, shout out to the medical guys. They are doing a whole lot of good job all over the world. We appreciate them. But the essence of what we are trying to do here is we're trying to say, okay, even if you've made a wrong career choice, or if maybe you studied something in school you have no passion about, how do you get back to things that can bring out your interest, bring out your passion, grow your career in 6 months thereabouts. So that's basically why I'm not putting the medicine. Of course, the medicine, surgery, nursing is in the list, but that's not the essence of why I'm doing this. So going back to the design, UX UI design is very key, because we've seen a lot of good developers. You create a very good application. After decoding, the interface is whack. So when the interface is whack, the people just think is the application that is whack, or is the developer that is whack, because some developers want to do both the design and the programming at the same time. So that's one thing we need to also bring into the picture. Then the project management, why I also want to talk about project management. It's the only theoretical course, of course, aside ITIL and the rest of the TOGAF and the rest, but project management help people launch their careers, in a different dimension. Because with project management skill, you can actually also go into business. So the link between project management and business is the end of projects. Okay, it marks the beginning of business operations. So if you do a project management course, it in a way gives you an understanding of how the business should run. The man that implements a project would understand how to run the project after he's done with the project phase or the project life cycle and whatever. So it's one skill that pushes people into organizations from the back door. And of course, when you're a project manager, you tend to have this leverage. People tend to report to you. Do you understand? So it gives you this edge, So you have more people that probably are more technical and are more this and that, but because they are in a project and with the whole project style of reporting, technical people don't just report straight to stakeholders. They have to still, route their reporting through the project manager down to the stakeholders. So the project management guys, they stand a very good chance in the corporate world right now. All right. So like I said, I just wanted to put something on that project management design. So that's it.
Okay. So we have looked at the top 10 for everyone. Well, I don't have a top 10, but I will tell you that tech runs the world, and if you are still in medicine, you can still infuse tech in it. It's not bad. You're in accounting, you're in banking, you're in law. You can still infuse all those things in it. It's not like we are telling you that you must do tech to be successful. No, that's not true. You can actually do whatever you want to do. Then maybe have a side course, because I, for one, I studied engineering in school, but today I'm a journalist. So, and that's what I love to do. In as much as I still dabble into tech one or two ways, but I just like my journalism. It's helping me, and it has. I have grown over time with it. So that's the same thing that will happen. No, we're not telling you to run and start. If you have interest in tech, perfect. If you don't, you can just infuse tech with whatever you're doing. So thank you for watching and listening to us take you through, because we have had so many questions about what should I do to be able to move ahead in life. So we have given you a little bit of pathway. As Regina will say, it depends on what you want to do before we can actually advise you on what you should do. So thank you for watching Career Buzz podcast. Till we meet again. My name is Uche. I had Casey and Regina. So guys, bye-bye.
Models. These are the new models. Bye-bye, Abby.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Share,
Don't forget
our
to visit
channel.
Datanet TrackCon website for inquiries. Don't forget to do that. Bye.
All right, guys.
Career Buzz.